Keep going.
We left off last week in Shinches Sivav the Ramah. We did the Mechaber, we didn't get to the Ramah. So Mechaber spoke about that Kalim that broke, even on Shabbos, you're allowed to metaltal the Shavreya and not metaltal the pieces because they're roi for any malacha or its own malacha. That was how Shiloh spoke about last week about Noiland. Said the Ramah, Hagar, if it was broken in a place where it could be mazik somebody, it's dangerous. Kegoin, klis chuchis, a glass clay or a china or a crystal. Shenishberu ala shulchan, a place where people shaholchin, a place where people go. Mutter l'taltal hashvarim kedei lefanoisa shlo yizayku behem. So here we're talking about a kli that broke. And the pieces you can't use for anything, which are most of our kalim today. A kli breaks on Shabbos, you can't use the pieces for anything. So then we don't have the heter of the mechaber. So therefore, it's muktzah. You're not allowed to move it. But if it's in a makom where people are going to have a hezek from it, then you're allowed to move it on Shabbos. And from here is mashma, you're allowed to move it directly. You don't have to go ahead and tilt them on atzad or anything. But makom hezek, you're allowed to move it, pick it up with your hands, regular, without worrying about muktzah.
So the Mechaber disagrees with this heter.
Why?
No. The Mechaber, he says specifically, Aval Yimenim Rim L'Shu Malach Allah.
No, it's muktzah.
Yeah.
But that's not Mokum Hezek. It is a muktzah. It's not Rosh Malacha Loi, you're not allowed to use it. It's muktzah. The Ramaz Maskim, it's muktzah. The Ramaz come with a new heter. Even though it's muktzah, still, but Mokum Hezek, there's a heter to move muktzah. That's the Ramah.
And presumably the Mechaber would agree with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is the chiddush? I mean, wouldn't you everybody agree with that? I mean,
The Mokum Hezek.
Yeah. Like
No, so the question is, what's the chiddush? It's sakana.
Yeah.
So the question here really is what's the chiddush?
Yeah.
Sakana is allowed to do everything. So there's basically what the chiddush of the Ramah here is that we'll see later on maybe, and you find later on Hilchos Shabbos, is that something that's a Mokum Hezek, the Rabbin, you're allowed to move it. Here we're not talking about Mokum Hezek, the Rabbin. You have something that breaks in your dining room, let's say. So what is it Mokum Hezek? Don't go there. Who says you have to walk there? Stay away from it. It's Muktzah. After Shabbos, you clean it up.
You could cover it with something else.
Cover it with something and do,
Only
who
it's a
says,
danger to other, that's a small children. No.
Yes, the children there, yeah. If there's children there, you can't keep them away. It's not really Chiddush. Chiddush is, who says you're allowed to move it on Shabbos, that's Muktzah, you're allowed to clear it on Shabbos, why? It's a Mokum Hezek. So don't go there. The Chiddush here is that even Mokum Yochid, even in your house, something breaks, and you usually go there, you're allowed to continue going there on Shabbos. You don't have to refrain from using that area on Shabbos. You're allowed to use that area on Shabbos, and if the Muktzah is Hezek, you're allowed to take it away. That's the Chiddush over here. Of course, if it's a Vadei Sakana and there's nothing you can do about it, and someone's for sure going to get nizik from it, it's not a Chiddush.
So if there is a Sakana, you can do that melacha. So I'm asking a little bit backwards. If the door came out of its hinges, I'm not allowed to put it back. But if it's Sakana, that I cannot keep the door open for the whole night.
Why not?
I'm gonna be
you're not do it. It's a good example. Your door comes off at night, right? And you want to go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
If you don't lock your door, it's a sakana.
Yeah, exactly.
So you like put the door back on the hinges?
So
the answer is no. Why? Because it's an issa boina.
Okay.
It's an issa deraisa. It's an issa deraisa to put the door back on. We're not matter an issa deraisa. Sakana, go sleep elsewhere. What's sakana?
Then I leave the house for.
That's not sakana. That's mominous. That's your money.
Yeah.
That's sakana.
Hezek mom.
Yeah. There won't be a heter. There won't be a heter to put the door back on the hinges on Shabbos. Go sleep elsewhere. Over here we're saying you don't have to say go live elsewhere, go move out, or stay away from the broken glass. The halacha is tiltul muktzah umekel. since if you the way you're living now, it's a sakana, you don't have to change it and live elsewhere or move away from it, and then not move it. You're allowed to move the muktzah on Shabbos.
So if you forget your vacuum in the middle of the room, next to the dining table.
It's not sakana.
No, but can you move it out of this place?
No, it's not sakana. It's something else. That's a klishum lachtal. It's not the shaila. Here the shaila is that it's broken glass, and you could cut yourself on it. Says the Magen Avram, shel yizuku behen, aval imu shel cheres. If it's cheres, it's earthenware. Also lefanoisam, you're not allowed to move it away. V'av b'shadaris aleim b'raglayim. So cheres, it seems like in those days, wasn't a sakana. It wasn't sharp, and it wasn't sharp. Someone getting cut by it. So you have to leave it there. You're not allowed to move it on Shabbos. But the question is, if I'm walking there on Shabbos, I'm walking on the pieces, I'm breaking it more.
Right.
So that itself should be also. Kamakam davar shem eschavenhu, mashakos v'sim shinlam and dvav sif gimel, it's ein eschaven, and therefore it's mutter.
And it's mekalkel.
Yeah, but so it's also it's also midrabanan. Ein eschaven is mutter. Void the leki is suda b'shvirasam. Says another reason, like you were saying. The leki is suda b'shvirasam. There is no issur b'chlal in breaking it. Why? Because what are you doing? What's happening? You're breaking it? That's mekalkel. It's less than a mekalkel. It's not even a kli. A mekalkel is when you have a kli and you're breaking the kli. Here, I have pieces of a kli. It's not even a mekalkel.
Maybe
It's less than a mekalkel.
more less dangerous.
Yeah. Omiyu b'simin shinam advav says the base mashma the also ayin sham after the shani haseim the shoyve kli b'yadayim l'hachcha havim amela. So that's the whole shayla over there. You're breaking a kli b'yadayim. It's a full kli. It could be it's worse. But the shvarim over here are mutter because it's a kli cheres and it's not going to be mazik anybody. And then you're allowed to go ahead and step in on Shabbos. Okay. So if you look at the Mishnah Berurah over here, Sif Cotton Lamed. He says, "Shaloi yizuku behen, avalim shel cheres, asl fanoisam, deim asl kol kach hezik, avishak shudeus aleim eshabram, kamokam muter the davash emes chavahu." And then he says, "The dafka, the fanoisam biyadayim asl. It's only asl to move it with your hands, cheres. Aval muter l'tchoisam b'raglov, the tiltal muktzah b'gufoy muter l'chamon, the simishin dalef." Here it's better than tiltum and atzad. It's tiltum b'gufoy. And we spoke about in the beginning of Hilchos Muktzah that tiltum b'gufoy, if you move it with your elbow or with your shoulder, that's not called tiltum at all. So therefore it's mutter. But the question is, beragloi is that called tiltum, not b'gufoy? So we said the Chazon Ish holds that that's called regular tiltum, kicking with your foot. We're right from the Gemara. So the Mishnah Berurah over there says that tiltul b'gufoy, tiltul b'ragloi, is not called tiltul. So Mishnah Berurah over here, the Shatasa holds, if you have broken things on the floor, you don't want it there. Even though you're not allowed to move it because it's not a hezek, you're allowed to kick it with your foot.
No,
There's an easy way out.
No, but he's only saying that in that case it's not called because it's very shvurim, but if it was anything else, then he
Also,
then he
no.
would still call it tiltul,
No,
like
no.
the Chazon Ish.
No, any tiltul, unless it's derech b'kach. Unless it's derech b'kach, kick it with your foot.
Right.
It's not derech b'kach like a ball, it's a football. You kick it with your foot. That's akka b'kach. But something that's not akka b'kach to kick with your feet, then it's not called tiltul, according to Mishnah Berurah. So over here, anything that's lying around, and you don't want to, you want to move it away, b'yadayim it's asr. But b'ragloi, according to the Mishnah Berurah, it's mutter. I can't speak about a broom. Like if you want to move something, sweep it up with a broom. What's a broom? A broom may be worse than beraglayim. A broom, because that's a darka b'kach. You sweep things up. It's darka b'kach, and it's not called tiltum and atzad. Tiltum and atzad. I spoke to this. I'll speak about it again because it's a common error that people think that if someone's also to move it, if you take something and you push it with the broom or with a stick, then it's called tiltum and atzad and it's mutter. It's not true. Tiltum and atzad is I'm moving something. That's shinur. That's not tiltum b'chlal. Shinui is not called tiltal b'chlal. But when you pick something up, a davar heter, and you have muktzah on it, so that's called tiltal min hatzad. I've been metaltal davar heter, and happens to be there's a davar muktzah on it.
Yeah.
That's called
You shake
tiltal min
it off.
hatzad. Yeah, that's called tiltal min hatzad. But moving something with a broom, and your intention is to move the davar muktzah, that's not called tiltal min hatzad. That's called direct tiltal. That is called direct tiltal. Pushing something with something else in your hand is not called tiltal min hatzad.
Because that just becomes an extension of your yad.
That's the extension of your hand. And you're moving it for, and you're moving the davar muktzah. That's all you're moving. Tiltal min hatzad means I'm picking up something, and the davar muktzah happens to be on it. That's tiltal min hatzad. Tiltal davar achar. But a broom is not called tiltal min hatzad. But if it's something that's sakana, you have a heter to use a broom.
Well, we don't have that with the broom. I mean, I know Bisman that's not an issue, but the other issue used to be with the broom is Mishabeh Blumos.
No, that's not a problem.
No?
We'll get to that at one point. You're allowed to use a broom on Shabbos. In our houses today, you're allowed to use a broom on Shabbos.
You can?
You can. Yes. That's a halacha, fine halacha. How we get to there, we'll speak about a different time. But you're allowed to use a broom on Shabbos in your house. In your backyard, maybe not. But in your house, you're allowed to use a broom. But you're not allowed to use a broom to talk davar muktzah. The world thinks the opposite. You're not allowed to use a broom on Shabbos, but to remove a muktzah, you're allowed to use a broom because it's tiltal kalachayad, or tiltal min hatzad. It's the opposite. Fine. Siv Zayin. Chatichas cheres. Shenish b'ra b'chayil. So here we're talking about, in Siv Vav we spoke about, you had a kli, the whole kli broke. Siv Zayin was speaking about you have a kli, and a piece of the kli broke off. The kli is still intact.
The handle.
Candle.
The handle, even if you have any piece of it.
Top.
Any piece of the kli that you're not going to reattach. We'll see. The next Siv Ches talks about if you're going to reattach it. We're not going to reattach it. It breaks off. Chatichas cheres, shenish b'ra b'chayil b'kli, v'ru'uya l'chasis bar kli, and you could use that piece to cover a different kli. Mutter l'taltal la'afil b'makom she'ein kelim mitzuyim sham. The allowed to be metaltal even in a place where there are no kelim. For example, the Rishus Rabbim. If you're in Rishus Rabbim, you want to use that broken piece without carrying it davar amis. So you're allowed to use it, even though in the Rishus Rabbim you cannot use it to be mechasa or something else. You can't use it for a cover of a kli because there are no kelim in the Rishus Rabbim. Still, you're allowed to be metaltal. The Mishbru speaks out that this is the chiddush of the sif. Because really, we'll see soon the Magen Avraham, but most Achronim learn there's no chiddush in this sif over the sif before.
The Kiddush is that this happened b'chol.
Yeah, so the Magen Avraham says lav dafka b'chol. Even Shabbos makes no difference. The Beis Yosef says that there's a chiluk between this sif and the other sif of b'chol. But we're not going to go with that. We're going to pass it that way. So we'll speak it out soon. But we're going to go with the Magen Avraham and all the other Achronim that when the piece breaks off, it's no different than if the whole kli breaks. And the chiddush over here is that even though there's no place, you're in a place where there's no kli to use it for, it's still mutter. And zarka la'ashba, but if you threw into the garbage, and by diyim, also l'taltal kimish abatla meyais oit kli. You're not allowed to metaltal it. Why? Because once they threw into the garbage, it's not a kli anymore. Now this is by everything they throw into the garbage.
It was Ben Yashmoshes already.
If you threw it by diyim.
So how can the Magen Avraham learn that it's not b'chol? I mean, then what is maybe a yom?
No, it could be even b'chol, both. B'chol and b'Shabbos.
Both.
Both, yeah. It's both. From Zarkal Ashma by diyim, also Taltal Kimish Batlam Yos Oyed Kli. If you threw it into the garbage Erev Shabbos, so the reason why it says in by diyim, the Chaim Spekan over here, is because if you threw it into the garbage on Shabbos, and then you change your mind and you want to use it, it's not muktzah anymore. Because you can't make muktzah in the middle of Shabbos. In the middle of Shabbos, you want to make something. How does it become muktzah? Because you're throwing it out. On Shabbos, if you made muktzah, you could change it and make it not muktzah. It's only bein hashmoshes. If something is muktzah, then you have a mitzvah that's chatzoi. Bein hashmoshes, it's muktzah for the whole Shabbos. So if we threw it out in Beit Yom, so bein hashmoshes it was muktzah. So the whole Shabbos it's muktzah. But if we throw it out on Shabbos, then if you decide afterwards you want to use it, then you could make it not muktzah anymore. That's what it says in B'Yid Yoim.
But how do you, according to the previous tip, how can you throw it out on Shabbos? You can't do anything for it.
No, here you could do tiltul.
No, before we said if it's Chad Cheres.
No, sorry, there's no use for it.
If you throw it out on Shabbos?
No, before we spoke about it, the Ramah was speaking about if it has no use.
So you're saying it has
Here it has a use, yeah. If a real chassid spot says,
Right.
real chassid spot clean. So since you could use it for something, mutal tafla, once you threw it into the garbage on Shabbos, before Shabbos, it's muktzah. On Shabbos already, it's something else. That's what happens. Someone throws an empty barrel into the garbage and they decide they want to use it. So they could use it on Shabbos. It's not muktzah anymore. Unless you have, this is a big shot in the poskim. If someone throws something today into the garbage on Shabbos, now the truth is, someone throws something today into the garbage on Shabbos and somebody changes his mind afterwards he wants to use it, he's allowed to use it. Throwing it into the garbage on Shabbos doesn't make it muktzah l'chol Shabbos. It may be a problem because of davar mos. Some places want to say that anytime someone throws something today into the garbage, it becomes mos, becomes disgusting, and therefore it's muktzah machmas miyos. A different problem now.
That's why we have recycling bins.
It's a recycling bins, right? But today they have recycling bins where you can easily pull something out from it. You throw an empty bottle, you can easily pull it out.
Yeah.
So even though you threw it into the garbage on Shabbos, and you say, you know what, let me use the bottle for something else, then you're allowed to use it. It doesn't become muktzah now. Some people want to say all the recycling, the recycling, not the green bins or the regular garbage, is not muktzah b'chlal. If you're makbid. If you follow the Canadian rules, they have to wash out the bottles before you throw them into the garbage. But even if not, most of the time the recycling is not mos. It's the green bin and the regular garbage that's mos. So throwing into the garbage on Shabbos is not. It doesn't make a muktzah the whole Shabbos. Hago v'afil chazi la'ani, even though ani could use it. Hayil ve'ekseyu habaylim shalahem afa pishem ashirim. The muktzah la'asher have a muktzah la'ani. Which is bar sefer simin. What I'm saying up here is that everything is dependent in the owner. If the owner decides he doesn't want it anymore, even though he's an ashir, and for an ani, for a poor person, this thing is a lechatchila, he'll use it. Still, it's muktzah. Why? Because it all depends in the owner. Whatever the owner wants to do with it, he decides if it's muktzah or not. If he decides he's throwing it out, it's muktzah.
But when so not practical, but an ani walks by your house and you've thrown stuff in the.
So you wonder if the ani can take it, he can make it not
right.
muktzah.
The owner is makes it hefker, right?
So that's the question. The owner make it hefker?
Well, when you throw something out, I assume it's hefker.
So that's a challenge. If an owner comes into your house and takes that bottle out of the garbage, I'm not sure it becomes. He's saying his kind it becomes his. I don't know.
For hefker, you need to do hefker.
Yeah,
you have to say that it's a hefker.
No, if you throw something in the garbage, it's usually.
Automatically hefker.
I think that shows it's hefker.
That shows hefker. The chametz is a problem. You throw your chametz in the garbage.
I think actually it's two parts. I think whether you throw it to garbage or you take the garbage to the curb. That's two things. I mean, there's some people say only when you take the garbage to the curb, it's like then
it's hefker.
You make a hefker. But while it's still in your house.
I don't know. I'm not sure what the law would be. I don't know.
This idea of the owner, between husband and wife, let's say, if the wife thinks it was thrown out, it should be thrown out, and the husband looks and sees he can use it.
The husband is the boss. Oops.
On camera again, you were saying?
Turn it off.
Anything that a woman owns belongs to the husband.
Okay.
So Pialacha, he's really the owner of everything in the house.
Even things that are kitchen items. Let's say she says, I threw that out. I threw out that broken plate. I'm never going to use it.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
If you want
certain things, he lets her decide what to do with it.
No.
So he's, I don't know.
If he wants to get the lunch,
I'm crazy.
and he says that it's muktzah. Once you get into trouble, you can say that it's not muktzah.
We'll make sure we send a copy to the Rebbetzin.
She knows already. Yeah, anyway, so let's see the Magen Avraham here. We'll stop here a second, and we'll get to the rest of it later. It says the Magen Avraham, Yud Zayin. Shenishber b'chol, v'hodin shenishber b'Shabbat. Same thing if you broke on Shabbos, k'mo shekasa sivov, al denaka b'chol, m'shem seifa, the zorka l'ashber b'Yid Yoim. This is what you were saying. The Sefer says you threw it in the B'Yid Yoim. threw it out with Boyd Yoim. So that's what it says b'chol. The im zaka b'Shabbos shori in the taltala. This is what we spoke out. If you threw it in on Shabbos, you're allowed to be metaltal it. Keep it shebein hashmoshes haya tayres kli alea or shekosem magamishna akam l'shein akam moshe. Chen kosem abach. So they're all learning that this, when it breaks off from a kli, it doesn't make a difference. If it's b'chol or b'Shabbos, it's not muktzah. The loika Rabbi says, the v'nishbir b'Shabbos asur l'taltala elem kein hu roy l'melach toy rishayna. So I'm speaking that quickly. It's not a gay halacha l'maisa, but the Beis Yosef learns the difference between Sif Vav and Sif Zayin. Sif Vav is when the whole kli breaks. Now the original kli is not here, so the original kli you can't use it as a kli. So all the pieces of the kli, what are you using it for?
Something else.
The chasais, for something else. But if the original kli is here, and a piece breaks off. So that piece, even though you can use it for something else, says the Beis Yosef, it's really part of the original kli. It has to have the use of the original kli. Because something that breaks off from a kli and the kli is still there, then it's still part of the original kli. If you cannot use it as the usage of the original kli, says the Beis Yosef, the fact that you can use it for something else doesn't make it not muktzah. That's the Beis Yosef's chiluk. We don't pass it that way. So Beis Yosef wants to say that's why dafka if it broke b'chol, it broke in the weekdays. So now I'm miyached this piece already to cover kli. So now it's not muktzah anymore. But if it broke on Shabbos, so that piece has to be the same usage as the original kli.
Are we talking about the actual piece that broke off, or are we talking about the kli itself?
No, the piece that broke off. The piece that broke off.
But what about the kli itself?
You can still use it. You can still use it. Yeah.
I mean, and if I can't, if there's a big enough break that
they cannot use the kli anymore.
Does that become like the piece?
That becomes like Siv Zayin,
right.
Siv Vav.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Siv Vav.
Yeah. The Lekar Rabbi says, "Which cost the nishbir b'Shabbos asal tatel hamkein hu royal v'lachta v'shoyna the kashal levada is chalukim." It's hard to make up differences, little differences like nimtzu b'tamud b'hoiskim. Ach masha cost of a bach and perishat taisvis tzarachin. Let's leave out the rest of the Magen Avraham here. Fine. So that's the beginning of the Sif. Piece broke off. We're going to go with the Magen Avraham and the other Achrayim. It's the same din as Sif Zayin. Mr. Bruce speaks out over here. The chiddush over here is two chiddushim. One is that even though where you are now, you cannot use it for anything. It's still mutter. And the second chiddush is that if you throw it out with b'oid yoim, is when it becomes muktzah. But if you throw it out on Shabbos, it doesn't become muktzah. Fine. This was a Sif Chotin. Sif Chotin Amar Aleph. Look at it inside if you want. Now let's see the next part of the Mechaber. V'dafka says the Mechaber. Chatikas cheres mishum da'asim b'shivrei kelim. So he says a chiddush over here. V'davar she'ein by shayches kli k'may tzroiris ayavonim afa pishe ru'uyim v'chases behem kli asur l'taltalan. So he's saying a chiddush like this. And we spoke about last week a little bit. You have a kli, a piece breaks off from the kli on Shabbos. That piece I could use l'chases by kelim. It's not noilid. Behold, it's not noilid. It's mutter. You're allowed to use it for that. How about if I have a rock? A rock, I could also use it l'chases by kli. Is it muktzah or not? Yeah. So halacha is that is muktzah. Why? Only something that came from a kli that it wasn't muktzah before Shabbos started. Now I can use it for something else. It's mutter. It's not called muktzah. But something that has no usage when Shabbos comes in, for example, a rock that had no usage, that's called muktzah machmas gufoy. Even though I could use it to cover a kli, it's still called muktzah.
But that's in sof. I mean, you could pick up. I mean, if
everything.
If you didn't have that, you could pick up anything.
Right. Right. That's what the Chaber is saying of it. Muktzah machmas gufoy means something when Shabbos came in, it wasn't set aside for anything.
He has no use for it.
It wasn't set aside. If you took a rock before Shabbos and you set it aside, I want to use this to cover a kli, then it's good. We'll see later on, then you could use it.
The kli only.
To cover a kli. No, that's not muktzah. You want to use it for something else?
You can do something else as well.
Yeah.
You can make it a stopper to the door.
It's not muktzah. It becomes not muktzah. A stopper for a door, right? You want to take a rock and use it for a stopper for a door. If you didn't use it before Shabbos, or you didn't set it aside before Shabbos, it's a regular rock, it's muktzah machmas gufoy. If I used it before Shabbos even once, we'll see later on how you set it aside, then that rock becomes not muktzah. But it has to be when Shabbos comes in, this thing had a usage. This Shivrei Keli had a usage when Shabbos came in. It was part of a Kli. But something that has no usage when Shabbos comes in, and you didn't set it aside, it's called Muktzah Machmas Gufoy, you're not allowed to pick it up and use it on Shabbos. It's a very important halacha. You can't just pick up anything and use it for what you want. A broken twig or something, all these things are Muktzah. Muktzah Machmas Gufoy. You're not allowed to move it to Tzarech Gufoy, to Tzarech L'Koymai, nothing.
So sand, for example?
Sand is Muktzah.
So children playing in a sandbox?
So a sandbox is the miyached. A sandbox, they will miyached the sand for use.
Because it's
For the
what
kids.
about a beach though?
A beach could be a problem.
Yeah,
A beach could be a problem. I love sand is
even if it's there at Khalifa, you're just walking.
no, that's something else. If you're walking up, to play with it.
Oh, I see.
Pick it up and play with it.
Children-
That could be a problem. The sand in a beach could be a problem. Because you can't say you miyached the sand in the beach to play. Maybe
You
I don't
can
know.
walk on the beach.
I'm not sure.
You can.
It's a designated beach.
They say every rock in Yerushalayim is not muktzah.
Miami Beach.
Sorry?
They say every rock in Yerushalayim is
I
not
know, because they
muktzah.
use it for
They use it to throw.
Who goes
My goodness.
If you stay on the beach, you have to.
That's what they say. How you pick it up? Of course, pick up a rock and you throw it out. Pick up a rock and throw it at somebody. It's muktzah.
They used to. You know, any rock on Fish Bar Ilan.
Bar Ilan, yeah.
That one is good.
It's not muktzah. First of all, it can't be that way because you have to be miyached it. And the question, how you miyached it? But sand, I'll say sand is a muktzah machmas gufoy.
No, but if you put it aside, you put it on Shabbos,
If they do it
aside, then the fuck
it's a problem. It's a problem because even if you set it aside to throw, it's not called stamshus. We'll see later on. When you set aside something to make it not muktzah machmas gufoy, it has to have a real stamshus.
Well, no, but so what they used to do is they used to really build mounds of stones before Shabbos.
Well, that's
I'm
what
saying-
I'm
I'm not saying it's good enough.
I know, but I'm saying that's what they would do.
I'm not saying it's good enough because
One bag of shusher out and you shusher out.
I know.
I'm not saying it's good enough. We'll see later on. To take a rock and miyached it, it's not so simple that it's okay. We'll see later on. If you take a rock and I want to use this rock for a door stopper on Shabbos, it could be it's not good enough. Even for a door stopper. You have to have used it once for a door stopper.
before Shabbos.
Or you have to miyached it. We'll see later on. La'olam, forever and ever, this rock is going to be a door stopper. This is going to be a door stopper forever. So to miyached, to throw it once, is not called the yichud really. It's not so simple throwing rocks is mutar on Shabbos. So anything that's a klisha, that's a muktzah machmas gufoy, tzroiris, avonim, all these things, even though I could use it l'chasnas by kli, I could use it for a door stopper, it's still muktzah on Shabbos. Why? Because it wasn't set aside by the shmashas for any usage. It says the Ramah the Chaldavar she'ena kli klal, also the taltaloi, afilu l'tzarech gufoy, kolshker l'tzarech mekaymai. So muktzah machmas gufoy, you're not going to move. Not l'tzarech gufoy, not l'tzarech mekaymai, because it didn't set it aside before Shabbos. Says the Magen Avraham Yosef Kohen Yudches, she'ein by shayches kli, ki goyin hashishi shabazel, pieces of metal, the tevel is Paris. They were not mesukin. They didn't take up Shubas Amaisris. It's muktzah.
Yeah.
Why is it muktzah? You can't do anything
You
with
can
it.
do it.
It's a muktzah machmas gufoy. V'chein bekas, a piece of wood, ayin tzivcha beis. And then he says a psila, a wick, mikri kli. A wick is called a kli. K'moshe kosev v'Rabbi Yosef sim tavkuf yadal b'shem Tmusadeshen or Terzabayis, Tmusadeshen. By Masha Ksafli Seif Sim and Tavkuf Aleph Chekos or Tez B'Shabbos, the Psila Shleima Mikri Kli. A Psila, a wick, it's called a Kli. So if you have wicks lying around in your house,
Unused.
we'll see. The Shivrei Psila, but something that's already used, the Psila was used already and it's broken now, it's not a full Psila.
Yeah.
Mikri Tzreiris, it's called Tzreiris, it has no usage anymore. A used wick is Muktzah. V'im came mutter l'taltal psila shlema l'tzarech gufa l'tzarech mekaymai. A wick you're allowed to move. This is a very famous shaila. That if you have a wick, what happens is Yom Tov.
Yeah, second day Yom Tov.
Second day Yom Tov, right? If you light with what's it called again with
Candles or whatever.
even candles, it happens a lot of times. If you,
Same thing.
yes, you want to take out the empty psila from the holder or leftover wax in the thing, it's a problem. It's muktzah. Those are light oil. So you have a wick. You want to take out the old wick.
Put a new one.
And put a new one in. It's muktzah. Because the old wick is muktzah machmas gufoy. Has no usage. So we have to, the question what you do about it. How you get rid of it.
Can you put a new tila next to it?
Next to it, how you get rid of the old one? How do you get rid of the old one?
No, you don't need to get rid of it. You keep it there.
Oh, you could. But a lot of times you have those like little
The holder, you put another holder.
So you can do that. Yeah.
So he has here a chula from Rosh Hashanah Rabbi.
Yeah.
Very practical thing. You can buy milk in the milk bags.
Right.
So he says, what happens on Shabbos if you finish one of those milk bags?
Yeah, that's muktzah. So leave something over inside.
Yeah, so he says either leave something over or walk over to the garbage, but leave something over. But even with leaving something,
Yeah. So what are you gonna do with the wick? How does that help you for the wick?
can you move? Can you? Oh no, because you want the wick.
You want to? No, you don't want the wick. Throw out the wick. How are you gonna move it?
Right.
Unless you can move the whole glass. Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Well,
No, half not muktzah yom tov.
What if there's oil
Oh,
still
no,
left
no.
in it? There's oil still left in it.
Yeah, but the wick is
Pick up the
still.
whole thing.
Yeah, but and you dump it out, and the wick falls out with someone. That's what.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
he uses the same thing with the,
Yeah.
with the milk.
So you have to be
You
careful.
can't always predict if the all oil is going to be used or not. Sometimes it burns the
Right,
last
yeah.
bit, and sometimes it does leave some.
You have to be careful. The wicks have to be careful.
But if it's a regular one, like just in a metal container, there's nothing left over.
In the wick,
Yeah.
that's fine. If the whole wick burns down, then it's fine.
Oh.
If you have floating wicks, you're not going to use it.
But if you have like it's in a little
Tea lights.
metal container, the ones we use.
Those tea lights are a big problem,
Tea
you know.
They're probably.
Those tea lights are a big problem.
Because the metal piece is muktzah.
Yeah, but the whole tea light, the whole metal, you have a tea light, right?
Yeah.
So the wax burns out, then you left that little metal piece.
Right.
It's a big problem. Things are muktzah.
Same thing with Yitzhak candle, no?
That's a candle also, yeah. Those things are muktzah. Little tea lights are muktzah.
Yeah, we use them.
Why-
every
why-
week, so
yeah.
you can't move.
What you can do is you can leave something that's not muktzah on the tray and move it and just dump the tea lights into the garbage.
Yeah.
But to pick up the empty thing, the tea lights is a problem. It's muktzah.
It's not a key.
It's not clean, you don't use it for anything.
So if you have it
What you
on,
could do is, what some people do is they take when you put a new tea light in, you can take out the wax, the candle, and put it into the old tea light. You can switch it.
Oh, you just empty out the new.
Yeah, they come out very easily. Most of them come out very easily.
Yeah.
The whole wax
Yeah.
with the wick pops out, and you put it into the old ones.
But the wick is still there though.
Okay, you put on top of it all the
You're
way.
pushing on top of it though.
Put on top of it all the way.
Yeah, okay.
There are eights. If you're using tea lights, you have to figure out eights how to take care of it. Because they're muktzah. Muktzah machmas gufoy. Muktzah machmas gufoy. You can't move the tzarech from koimoy.
No, but sometimes they have wax left over in there anyway. No, I mean because it's
But the question of wax, the wax goes to be muktzah. You're not going to use it.
right.
but if they're on a plate and you want to use the plate, would you then move it?
No, maybe not.
Because
The plate's a
plate
boss
is
is a
a
double
boss,
also.
and then
Boss is double
the
also.
plate itself is muktzah then.
Yeah.
Right.
So, no, the most practical is on Yom Tov, right? I mean, like,
No,
second day
second
Yom
day.
Tov, second day Yom Tov.
That's
So-
the problem stuff. Second day Yom Tov, what do you do? 2 days Yom Shabbos Yom Tov, and you have 2 days Yom Tov. What do you
so
do
what-
second night?
So what is the answer then?
Tea lights?
Yeah?
I don't know, it's a problem. You
Well,
can take out
two
you
plates.
can take out the other,
You got the new one.
the new one and put it to the old one.
Or just have two plates.
Or you leave it double header on it. You leave it double header, if let's say it's on a tray
Right.
or something, you have a double header on it, so you can move it, because it's boss double header,
Yeah.
and then you can dump it into the garbage.
So if you have your candlesticks on there with the tea lights on
A
top.
little piece of bread on it.
It's a problem. If you have a candlestick with just a tea light on top of the candlestick,
Yeah.
you can't put something else on it.
That's
Double
what I
header.
mean.
But let's say you
I don't
put a
know,
piece
I'm not
of
sure what you
bread,
should do.
put a piece of bread on the plate beside it.
Yeah, then you can do that.
Then you
If you have a
want-
candlestick,
Yeah.
not sure. Another tea light things are muktzah. Pretty sure. I can check and do it again if it's heter. I once went through a long time ago. Those tea lights are a problem. Unless you can say you can use it for something, no, you can't use it for anything. It's garbage. No one really uses that for anything. They're a problem with tea lights.
Stops,
Eating
it's
stuff,
the
like they
muktzah.
have like a fondue set or something that they can use.
Right, that's right. It goes to muktzah. But
What?
you can't reuse it.
Sorry?
You can't reuse them.
Don't know, you could potentially put in oil and you could use it to heat. I mean, if you
This is you have to know. You have to check into these things. Tea lights. Tea lights are an issue. Let me check into tea lights. It's a common channel. People use it all the time.
Right.
Let me check out the tefillah, see if we can find some type of heter, how to move them.
Right.
Maybe next week I'll get back to it. Okay. Havanir says among Rav Baito, the mekan magla b'puma de inchi. It's a people speak and say. Magla means it's common in the mouths of people. The mutter l'taltal ner shalem shal chelev or shal shayva. You let him move a candle. Is a candle muktzah? Not a psila. A candle, a full candle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's burning.
No, it's not burning. On Shabbos, not Yom Tov. Yom Tov it's Torah muktzah. On Shabbos, it's a candle muktzah. So he said, people said that it's like a psila. It's a kli shemlachta le'isr.
Right.
You let him move it. So therefore, people used to say, you let him move on ner shalem. Well, kamokim tayin the einim mutter elok tzarich loy l'davar heter. You only let him move it. Tzarich kufay mekaymoy. A candle is called a kli shemlachta le'isr. You can't just move it for whatever you want. For Shekhatz of Sif Gimel. So the Magen Avram over here says that a candle is called a kli shemlachta le'isr. It's mutter the move of the tzarich kufay or the tzarich mekaymoy. And the truth is, the Mishnah Berurah also says so. The Sharet Tzion. If you look here, let's look here at the Mishnah Berurah a second.
No, but what would be the Havamim to say it wasn't? It wasn't.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what I'm.
No, it's not a kli shemlachta le'isr.
Why? But what's Havamim to say?
Why,
Isn't?
why is it worse?
No. Why is it? I'm saying what's Havamim to say that it's not a clean of share?
Oh, okay, very
what
good.
else? What else can you use?
So let's see. I'll tell you everything in a second. Well, you mean it should be kli shemlachta le'heter? You mean?
No,
I'm asking.
it makes sense that it's kli shemlachta.
Okay, so let's see.
Because what else can you use it for?
Look at the Mishnah Berurah.
What's the Havamim?
Look at the Mishnah Berurah over here. If you look at the Mishnah Berurah, Sif Katan Lamed Dalid, but look all the way down by Ois Lamed Dalid of the Sharet Tzion. In the middle of Sif Katan Lamed Dalid is the Ois Lamed Dalid.
Yeah.
Chein Ner Shalom. You see it?
Yeah, v'chein le'ashol.
See it?
Yeah, shalom.
Chein Ner Shalom shal shayva or chelev hafil nidlik kfar b'choil by b'shabbos she'avra kol shu adayin u'uyi la'adlaka if you can still use it for lighting. Mikri kli shemlachta le'isr or mekar magel pum with the inch the mutal talton ner shalom or shal chelev or shal shayva kadesh like deposit shouldn't get ruined haner or little any Yehudi should lekenu la'atzma b'toyin. To go move the ner that shouldn't get ruined is a mistake. That's called mechamal l'tzel. Mechamal l'tzel is not mutter by a kli shemlachta le'isr.
Right.
B'toyin hein she'ein mutter l'talta kli shemlachta le'isr elok shetzarach l'mkayma shel hakli or shetzarach ha'yisrael l'gufay shel hakli le'shtamish by davar ha'mutter b'shabbos v'goyin kornis l'tzayah by a goyin. V'chid le'el b'sif gimel. So Mishnah Berurah says over here that a candle is a kli shemlachta le'isr. You now let him move it. Only l'tzarach gufay ha'mkayma. But mechamal l'tzel you're not allowed to. Now says the Mishnah Berurah, Sefer Moruk Tzia, Machmir dafilu ner sholem. Even a regular candle, v'letzarech mekaymoy, osir l'taltel. You're not allowed to move it. Why? She'ein olav shem kli klal. It's not called a kli. V'lechazir l'achila v'letashmish. You can't use it to eat. What are you going to use the candle for? Now this is a very important halacha. Mishnah Berurah says it very briefly. There's a Chazon Ish about this. There's a kind of menorah about this, a Tila David about this. There's a lot of Acharim speak about this. A kli shemlachta le'isr. It's mutar l'tzarech kufay mekaymoy. Now let's say that kli, which is a kli shemlachta le'isr, has no usage l'tzarech kufay. Has zero usage. A candle. A candle has no use. What are you going to use it for? L'tzarech kufay. You can't use a candle for anything, just to light it. Right? It has no usage. A kli shemlachta le'isr that has no usage l'tzarech kufay. What's the halacha? So the Mishnah Berurah is out of the Moruk Tzia. It says over here, you're not allowed to move l'tzarech mekaymoy. Why? Because the only reason why you're allowed to move a kli shemlachta le'isr is because it has some usage. L'tzarech kufay, corners, a hammer. You can use it to break open nuts. It has a usage. Therefore, it's not muktzah anymore. You can move it to a kufay mekaymoy. But a kli shemlachta le'isr that has no usage whatsoever, the only thing you do with it is move it to a mekaymoy. Says the Moruk Tzia that it's muktzah.
He says, "She'ein olaf sham kli."
Yeah, because you can't be without not achila below the shum tashmish. Says the Chazon Ish, a candle. Even though Mishnah Berurah says it's called a kli shum lachal iser, and therefore you let him move it the tzarich mekayimai. Says the Chazon Ish, the tzarich iyin, because he holds that it may be also to move it because there's no usage the tzarich gufay.
Tzarich gufay for that day on Shabbos or any time.
No, tzarich gufay on Shabbos.
So I'm saying, so he basically is equating it to tefillin. I mean, we don't remember.
That's not Shabbos. Speaking about tefillin.
So we said
right. Very good. They're being arrived from tefillin. Maybe that tefillin is called a kli shum lachal iser. It has no usage.
Right.
Still, you let it move with the tzarich mekayimai.
Right. Because if you
No, but tefillin is different because tefillin is l'chara. It's technically you could put it on there.
No, it's also to put on Shabbos. Also to put a tefillin on Shabbos because it's ice. That's how Shabbos.
We learn for chinuch. There's something else.
They go through it with tefillin.
Right.
They go through it. That's a pasha with tefillin. Halacha with tefillin also. We saw tefillin is a machlokes because it's a iser. Most machlokes gufay.
Right.
Because you can't use it for anything on Shabbos. So here it means in the Mark Tzia that something that has no usage at all the tzarich gufay is a muktzah on Shabbos. So a candle would come out, even though Mishnah in a few places says that a candle is called kli shum lachal iser, and it's a mutter tzarich gufay mekayimai. The Mark Tzia argues, Mishnah brings it down. The Chazon Ish argues. A lot of other achronim argue and they say since it has no usage of tzarich gufay, therefore it's called a kli shum lachal, a muktzah machmas gufay. And you can't even move it the tzarich mekayimai.
Yeah, there's no such thing of the b'Laws.
Yeah, I'm coming soon.
Do you mean not only gufa, not only makoma? Basically, you can't.
You can't move the tzarich mekayimai. No, you can't even move the tzarich mekayimai.
So basically, according to this,
you have a candle lying
to get to the talis.
Right. If you have a candle lying on your table, you can't move it. You have matches. What's matches? Matches are chayra kli shum lachal iser.
Right.
Chayra, a kli shum lachal iser. Are you allowed to move matches on Shabbos? Sorry, mekayimai. Matches has no use besides the tzarich davar aser. There's no heter that you use of matches.
So it's what? To muktzah machmas gufay.
So we would come at the matches should be muktzah machmas gufay. So if you leave matches on the table on Shabbos, for some reason,
And
everyone
you need the
holds
place.
matches you don't move on Shabbos. If your wife forgot the matches by the candle, it's muktzah. You can't move it. Why? It's kli shum lachal iser. Why can't you move it? And maybe it may have a din like in there. But the Mishnah Berurah paskins is kli shum lachal iser. Even though there's no usage of tzarich gufay, you're still allowed to move it.
Right.
Fine. So that's that part. That's the machlokes, the Mishnah Berurah, the Chazon Ish.
Well,
If it has no use of the tzarich gufay. Now, let's finish up the Magen Avraham over here. The Magen Avraham says, the kosev beis Yosef, kosev b'noisen l'Rashbat, al mokoim shenoyagin shepam rishono shemachnes odom b'noy lebeis hakneses, maybe ner shayver b'yodoi, afilu b'Shabbos, ein b'isser tiltul, kivi sheme'er Shabbos, chashvu le'viyoi. There was a minhag in those days that the first time a kid would go to shul, he'd bring a candle with him to shul. Is he allowed to do that on Shabbos?
a lit candle? No, not a lit
No,
candle.
not a candle.
What was the makor for that?
I don't know, minhag. I'm not sure what the minhag was. First time the kid came to shul, they used to carry a candle with them to shul. Now, the first time the kids come to shul to Shabbos, he's allowed to bring the candle with him. So if you hold it's a kli shum lachal iser,
You cannot bring it.
so you could do tzarich gufay mekayimai is mutter. Is this called tzarich gufay? Tzarich mekayimai? Bringing a candle into shul. No, it was a shus yachal, let's say. So a kid, there was a minute to bring a candle into shul. So the kid would hold it in his hand. So if the kid was going to shul the first time on Shabbos, they would take the candle and be miyachir it before Shabbos. And the kids would bring it to shul. That's what they used to do. Now, two things you see over here. First of all, we see one thing is that even those who were matter it, they said you have to be miyachir it before Shabbos. Why do you have to be miyachir it before Shabbos? I'm bringing the candle tzarich gufay. That was the minhag. To bring the candle, so is that called tzarich gufay?
No,
You see from over here, it's not called tzarich gufay.
Right.
Bringing a candle to shul, because that's the minhag, is not called tzarich gufay. It has to be using the candle for something. The fact that he is bringing it to shul because that's the minhag is not called the usage of the candle. So it says the Magen Avraham, if
It's
that's
not like another use, it's still
What?
just a candle.
What?
You're not using it for something else.
You're not using the candle for something
You're
else.
using it as a candle, but there's a minute to bring it.
Right, yeah. So, no, you're not, as you bring it, you're not using the candle. So you're not using the candle for anything.
Right, just,
So it's not called Tzarech Kufoy. So what do they say? You miyachid it before Shabbos, and therefore it's mutter. Says the Magen Avraham, the machshava materis l'taltal ha'muktzah, k'mosh kasav shach, v'li nira, ve'ein ha'nidid daim l'raya, the hasem ru'uya l'hishtamish behem b'Shabbos. Masha'enki b'nesh al shayva, there's no tashmish on Shabbos. When do we say you can miyachid a kli before Shabbos for a usage, let's say a stone? You're using it for something, you're using it to open a door. Then it's not muktzah, you can use it for whatever you want. It's kli shemach l'heter. Being miyachid it, to carry it to shul, is not called being miyachid for any usage. Therefore, we held it will be usher for a kid to carry a candle to shul on Shabbos, even if you miyachid it before Shabbos. For the Nira, says the Magen Avraham, Tam HaMakomis, Kivin Sha'akotem Noit Lebiyadai, Leka Yisura. Since the cotton is carrying it, there's always a miu yesh lahachmir, it should be machmir. So that's the halacha of carrying a candle. So a candle has to be, one thing we see from here, it's important that a usage means you're using the kli. Not that I'm just carrying it for something else. That's not called a usage. And then we hold this aser, and there's a very important machlokes, if a kli shamalachta le'isr, if it has no usage, the tzarech gufoy, if it's mutter l'tzarech mechayma or not.
so he would hold it, the father shouldn't pick up the candle.
No, the father shouldn't touch it, no.
The child
Yeah,
would take it himself.
take it himself, correct.
Maybe he used as a toy. Maybe those days it was used like a toy.
If it's used for a toy, but that
Maybe
didn't
there
use
was
for
no
a toy.
toys those days, so he used like a play.
No, it wasn't used for a toy. Candle wasn't used for a toy.
But the thing
There's
is,
a case, what's the case if a father's holding a son who's holding a devar
That's something else. That's all we get to it. We'll get to it. It's holding a child. It's holding a child. Okay, that means the father's holding the kid.
Yeah,
Not holding his hand. You know, it's
holding his hand.
It's holding a child.
And
over
the
there.
kid has
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, Siv Ches. Kol ha-kelim ha-natolim b'Shabbos. All kelim can be used on Shabbos. Tal sehem shenisparku mehem natolim. The doors that broke off on Shabbos could also be used. Bein nisparku b'chol, bein nisparku b'Shabbos. Now, what's this case over here? You have a kli, and the door fell off. A kli, we're not talking about a house. The house is different, we'll see later on. A kli, you have a little box, and the door of the box fell off. A jewelry box.
Cover, yeah.
And and it broke off, the door of the jewelry box broke off. Are you allowed to move? The jewelry box you can still use. But the cover, the door broke off. A dollhouse.
You can use
Okay,
it
it's a
for-
dollhouse, right? So the door of the dollhouse broke off. So the dollhouse is still in use. If the thing that it broke off from is not in use anymore, it's all different shaila. Here we're talking about the thing that it broke off from is still in use. That door that broke off, the chayr has no usage whatsoever. Is it muktzah or not? Is that door muktzah or not? So the Mechaber says, "Kol hakelim ha'natolim b'Shabbos, das hasayim shenisparkim hem natolim." You could use it. Bein nisparkim b'chol, bein nisparkim b'Shabbos. It's always mutter. Says the Taz, Sivkot and Ches. Bein nisparkim b'chol. Pirish v'lo boy nisparkim b'Shabbos. The mutter, the muchanim hein agav avihen. What does that mean? This door is not muktzah. Why not? Even though the chayr has no usage whatsoever, it's not muktzah. Why? Because it's still part of the avihen. Avihen means the thing it came from. The door of the dollhouse is still part of the dollhouse, so it's not muktzah, even though you can't use the door at all, because it is part of the dollhouse.
what do you mean by parts of the dollhouse? Meaning you can still use it for other parts of the dollhouse? I mean, like
It's not muktzah. It's not muktzah. That piece is not muktzah.
Even though we're
What?
not saying that it does have use.
It has no usage.
Even
Pashas.
though we agree it has no use.
Correct.
It's still not
The Pashas. We'll see in a second. Because it's muchan agam aviyam ki ayel Shabbos, when Shabbos came in. And afilu b'choil mutter. But I don't know how the shivrei kelim. Why is it different than shivrei kelim? The summer we had before the sharit fei. The nishba be'erev Shabbos. The broke erev Shabbos is more of a reason why it's mutter. Mi b'Shabbos. The hacha akate klihu. The original kli, the dollhouse, let's say, is still intact. Sharui l'schaber im aklima she'en kem b'shivrei kelim she'en non kli ala machma sharoi l'mlocha acheres the odds garat fei. Siva, we spoke about the whole kli broke. If the whole kli broke, then it has to have a new usage. But if the whole kli is still intact, just something broke off from the kli, that thing is not muktzah. Why? It's still considered part of that kli. That's the heter. If you look at the Mishabur over here, Mishabur Sif Chotin Ches, Bein Isparka B'chol Perish V'Lemi Boya Sif Chotin Lamed Hey. Sorry, Sif Chotin Lamed Hey. Bein Isparka B'chol Perish V'Lemi Boya Isparka B'Shabbos L'Mutter Z'Mechon Hein Agav Avien Ki Ayla Shabbos Afilu B'chol Mutter B'Shum D'Akate Klihu Sheroyu L'Schaber Im HaKli L'Akei Mutter L'Taltalon Afilu Mechamal L'Tzeil. This piece you can move in Mechamal L'Tzeil.
So it's not called Kli Shem Lachot.
No, it's nothing. It's part of the original Kli. It's part of the dollhouse.
Right.
Now look at the next words. Afilu Kishe'ein Ru'uyim L'Melacha Acheres Klal. Even though it has no usage at all, this piece that broke off.
Do we extend that to a handle?
Handle the same thing. If you put it back on.
Is that
Everything.
actually because the dollhouse is still intact?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I have a Sheva Kli, but the Kli is still okay, why isn't that the same thing?
It is the same thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the same
No, a Sheva Kli, if you have a Kli Cheres, we can't say
thing.
Zion.
Right. Well, that's it, because then
No, because Sheva Kli is different. The Sheva Kli is not putting it back on.
you can glue it on after Shabbos.
If you glue it on Shabbat, then it's same halacha. Same halacha. So that's what the Shemur speaks out over here. The Pella is, the Shemur speaks out Mefurish, that even though it has no usage whatsoever, it's mutter on Shabbos. So it's come out. A very common case, all the places speak about it. If someone's button falls off on Shabbos from his jacket, what's the halacha? It's a mutter to move it on Shabbos. Why? Because it's part of the jacket, and you put it back on the jacket. So it's Mukhanam Haim Agam. If it fell off before Shabbos, then maybe it's Muktzah. If it fell off on Shabbos, so it's Mukhanam Haim Agam Aviyem, even though the button has no usage whatsoever the way it is, so it's Muktzah to move it. The Pella is, a Moshe Paskin is also to move it, which, I mean, it says in Archaim, Chelik Ches, which the whole Chelik Ches is a Shaila, if Moshe wrote it or not. It says Allah that if you allow to move a button, it says Moshe said it's Asr, without any reasoning. Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Orbach is a tzad that he said that it's Asr to move it, and the reason is they say Rabbi Shlomo Zalman because the button has no usage whatsoever. It has to have some usage. It's not like the Mishnah Berurah. Shmuel says Mefurish, even though it has no usage whatsoever, it's mutter to move it on Shabbos. Why? Because it's part of the beggar. So it's mutter. So a button that falls off on Shabbos should be mutter to move.
According to Svardim, maybe. Only.
No.
You said Moshe.
The question why? The question why Moshe asked it. They don't give a reason. And it's a Chelik Ches of it was Moshe. The whole Chelik Ches is a question if Moshe wrote it or not.
So do we pass him like that?
I don't know. So in the Velvet tongue, everyone knows a button falls off. Muktzah, you know, I'll touch it. That's how simple that's Muktzah. A lot of places will matter it. There are some conditions. One condition is, like we said, the Kli you still have to be able to wear the jacket. So if a button falls off, let's say, you're not going to wear the jacket anymore because the button's off. It looks funny without the button. For example, a lady's dress, right? There's certain buttons that make up the design of the dress. If one of them falls off and she won't wear the dress anymore, so then everything becomes muktzah. The dress is muktzah and the button is muktzah, everything is muktzah. She wouldn't wear it. But a regular button that falls off a jacket, you still can wear the jacket on Shabbos, even though the button fell off. So then it's not muktzah. It shouldn't be muktzah. For some reason, let's say B'Shem Hashem Zabin and a Moshe that's muktzah, definitely you could be makel to kick it, to move it with your foot. You know, definitely with other chumras of muktzah you don't have to worry about. But according to this, it should be muktzah to move button. The same thing as a shaila if someone's lens falls out of his glasses. Someone's wearing glasses and one lens falls out of the glasses. Is it muktzah or not? So they would depend.
Well, no, mind that. Can you actually put it back? That's also.
Can I put it back?
That's right, it's bonus.
Yeah, but the question is that one lens falls out. So the lens has no usage. But the question is, if I would still use the glasses without one lens in it. If you would still use the glasses without one lens in it, then the glasses is not muktzah. So the lens is a mukhan agamavi, and it's not muktzah either. If you can't use the glasses anymore because of it, then everything is muktzah.
My wife will use it even what?
Yeah, this one is a glove.
So if you use the glasses without the lens, then the glasses are muktzah and the lens should not be muktzah
But hold on a
either.
minute, but if you can use the lens and not the glasses, i.e., because you can turn it around, you can say, I won't use the glasses anymore, but I can use the lens to read. So the question is whether you consider that as Mochana Gavavien, or you say
So that-
it would be no good, or
No,
you
that's
say
not-
because
no, that-
because if you don't use the glasses, then you can't use the lens, or you
No,
say I can use the
that'd be
lens.
mutter because the lens itself was not muktzah for Shabbos, and now I can
Right.
still use it for the same usage. I'm still using it for the same
yeah,
usage.
yeah, true.
Yeah. So that's a shayla. I just told you that Mr. Bruce is mefurish, even though it has no usage, it's mutter. For some reason, some of the achronim want to say it has to have some usage. And I'm not really sure where it's coming from. I didn't see Shlomo Zalman inside. I've heard and I've seen
Here he
it.
says, Shlomo Zalman says, by the kaftor, he says, she'ena mokta shekin la'acha Shabbos omedehu l'shuvu is chaber l'degel.
Right. That's the halacha.
Right.
It's mukhra gaviyim.
So the lens would be maybe this
Same thing.
Yeah.
That's only if the original kli is still in use.
No,
Right.
he doesn't. Did he say that?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's halacha. It has to be the original kli is still in use. If the original kli is not in use, then it's definitely muktzah.
So if your button falls off your pants, where you put them up, and you just can't wear the pants.
If your button falls off your pants and you can't wear your pants anymore,
then that's
then that's chavi. The pants is a muktzah, and the button is muktzah.
Yeah.
So you're standing in shul and you're wearing the pants. Very good.
Yeah.
Sorry? Yeah, you're wearing. You're still wearing them.
Yeah, because you have to hold them up.
Yeah, if you have a belt.
You have to change them.
If you have a belt, if you're not going to wear the pants, you're right.
Hey, you want to go home and change them.
No, but
Well, if you're wearing a belt, it's not a problem. If you're not wearing a belt.
It's still kind of awkward.
Yeah, so if you won't wear the pants anymore, then chavi.
You can wear them.
What?
You wear them home.
You wear them?
You're gonna wear them home.
You wear them home.
you have to wear them.
It's not wear at home. If it's not worse than if you have muktzah in your hand,
Yeah,
right? You like continue moving it until you get to a place to put it down.
yeah.
So if you're wearing your pants and the pants become muktzah, you have to take it off. You could go to a place where you put it down and then it becomes muktzah, then you leave it there. Fine,
But you
okay.
have to wear it till you go home, okay? Don't go without the pants.
So,